welcome to Utah's Fly Corner. Today I'm going to show you how to tie Charlie Craven's dubbing loop egg. It's very simple, but I'm going to fancy it up a little bit. First I'm going to show you what you got to do with the materials. So I'm going to get them cut up now. Okay, what I've done here, taken the glow bug yarn and I've split it into 3 pieces, and just stroke your ends. Get your ends stroked, and just take your scissors and even each end up. Get everything nice and even. All 3 strands. Get your string cuts out of the way. Now you only cut them as wide as the hook gap that you're going to be tying on. So I'm going to end up tying about that much. And you can just cut yourself a couple slivers so that way you're ready to rock and roll for a couple eggs. And I do the same thing for, if I'm going to do a dot in the middle, I'll just cut up some orange as well. Have some orange here already split open. Just simply, I like to cut the orange shorter. That's the real secret to it. Let's just cut the orange shorter than the actual egg pieces. That's all you do. Let's tie one up now. Okay, now that we got the materials cut up, the hook I have here in the vise is a Daiichi, I believe it's an 1150. It's a heavier wire hook and with an up eye. Nice wide gap, good for doing eggs. So what I'm going to use for this is Vivus 12-0 in cream. Just going to lay down a layer of thread. Now you'll need a dubbing loop spinner, but I'm using the Pedagine bobbin, so I already have one on here. I like to bring my thread to the midpoint on the shank. I form a dubbing loop, and my bobbin attaches to the loop. Keep my finger in the loop. Take the cut piece of glow bug yarn. I'm going to take half the yarn, slide it up in there. Then I'm going to take just half of the orange that I cut. Take my finger out as I put this in. The way it starts to hold it in place. Get that up in there, and take that other half of white. With the Pedagine bobbin, if you tilt it towards you, you can slide things into it then, into the loop. And I just keep the loop tight, and just spread the fibers out so that way it's not so clumpy in there. And once you got them spread out pretty good, just spin it, make yourself a chenille rope. And once you got a chenille rope, I like to use my vise for this part. Wind it, basically snake it through. Then when I get to that orange part, put that right in the middle. Then I snake the rest of the white through it and over it. More time around, and I pop my thread off, the dubbing loop off, wrap it on, and then go into the whip. scissors are right here somewhere. Cut it off. Cut it off. And that's your dubbing loop egg. It doesn't look like anything special on the hook, in the vise, but when it's wet, it looks fantastic. And can't really get a good shot of it wet on the camera. But with the egg color and the glow bug yarn, if you see it on my blog, I call it the Ultra Egg dubbing loop style, because it's basically the same colors that I use for the Ultra Egg. But I'll show you Craven's original way of doing it. Get another hook out here quick. Using the same hook, but this time I'm going to use fluorescent orange Montana Flyco thread. Using my bobbin here, get it threaded up. Hear my cat squawking, he wants to play. Start it on there. Bring it back to the midway point. Make yourself a dubbing loop. Lock your loop in. Lock your spinner on it. Take your yarn, feed it up in there nice and tight. I like to spread it out. Just spread it out in there and spin. And then just make yourself some figure 8 wraps. Oops, walked on me. To form yourself an egg shape. And I'll just pull my thread off. Wants to come. And there she goes. Just tie that off. Just whip finish. That dubbing loop thread out of there. And that's the way Charlie does them. Because when it gets wet, the thread will shine through. I'll put it in the water here. We'll see if maybe the camera can pick it up. I've tried with a camera before, but that might be able to see it. Yeah, so you can't even see the thread in there, but believe me, it's just a dot in there, it looks like. Now I found that the fluorescent oranges and the glow bug yarn, steelhead orange, works fantastic on brown trout and rainbows and brookies. But the rainbows particularly also like fire orange, which is more of a red orange. Well, that's the dubbing loop egg. They're quick and easy. You can crank them out, and the fish really like them. Great simple fly. Kudos to Charlie Craven for creating it, thinking of it. Well, I'm Johnny Utah. Check me out on my site, www.utahsflycorner.com. Thanks for watching.
Charlie told me so.